Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm the Customer Success Manager for VitalSource in Asia. Thank you for taking the time today to join us to talk about Explore, which is one of VitalSource's online subscription-based platforms. For my part of the presentation, I'll be talking for approximately 15 minutes. And what I'll be doing is I'll just provide you with a quick description of what Explore is, and then we'll go and take a look at what the platform looks like for you. What I'll do is I'll just go ahead and share my screen. So Explore is a platform which is offered as a subscription-based solution for your institution. And the way that it works essentially is we work with the publishers who own the content, and they distribute the rights for that content to be sent to your institution. And then we work with your institution to set up various ways for you to access that content. So you can just think of it as a platform where content is available for you to borrow, and that content is ebooks. So all of the titles have been distributed and approved by your institutional admins. And when the titles are distributed, they're made available for you to go and borrow. So if you think about other subscription platforms, it works in a way that is similar to Netflix or Spotify, some of the popular subscription platforms, where essentially you are accessing content to borrow. You do not own the content, but you have access to that content for a limited period of time. So that's a very quick description for what Explore is. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the platform, but what I do want to do is just make sure that you're aware that you do have a platform available to you, which allows you to borrow ebooks. And borrowing ebooks has become particularly useful as a result of the pandemic. It's quite difficult to get physical copies of the books. And so the ebook is a digital solution in the 21st century to make sure that you can access content from the convenience of your home through your laptops and mobile smart devices. So when you first log into Explore, you launch through a URL and you create your bookshelf account, you'll be taken to a screen which looks like this. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is these two tabs just in the top left-hand corner. In the left-hand side, we have the Library tab, and on the right-hand side, we have the Explore tab. Now, it's important to know that when the content is distributed to you at your institution, the content will appear in the Explore tab. So the Explore tab is the central location or the one-stop shop where all of the content is distributed to. The Library is where your personal collection of titles is available for you to access. So when you first log into Explore, you will want to go to the Explore tab, and you'll see a user interface which looks like this. What you will see as the default setting for your Explore is on the left-hand side, we have a book which is recommended for you. And on the right-hand side, we have these free books which are currently trending. So similar to other subscription-based platforms like Netflix and Spotify, embedded in the back-end systems of Explore is artificial intelligence, which is looking at a user's behavior in the past, and it's trying to make accurate forecasts for what that user might want to borrow in the future. So the recommended for you is based on your personal preferences of ebooks which you have borrowed in the past, whereas the see what's trending is looking at what all of the users at the institution are borrowing, and it's determining which of those books are the most popular books right now. If we scroll further down, you'll see that we have these lines of ebooks running across the page. And this will be consistent across the entire Explore platform. So if we keep scrolling down, you'll see more and more lines of books. Each line of book has a subheading which tells you what this particular classification of books is. And if we keep scrolling down, you'll see more and more content until eventually we get to the bottom. If we scroll back to the top, you'll notice a few other things. When we hover our mouse over a particular book, it will provide us with some additional information. So this particular book here is Nutrition for Health. And when we hover over the book, it tells us that we can borrow this book, and it also tells us how long the borrow duration is. So for this particular example, if we were to borrow this book, we would have access to it for 1 day. If we go and look at a different book, it might have different borrow durations, but for this particular one, it also has a borrow duration of 1 day. If we want to find out more information about a book, we can click on the I symbol, which provides us with additional book details. So when we click on it, a pop-up message will appear on the right-hand side, and it will tell us extra information about this book. So we can see here who the publisher is, and we can also see a description about what this book is. If we are satisfied that this is the book that we would like to borrow, we just click on the borrow button, and a pop-up message will appear in the top right-hand corner. So it's just confirming that this book has been added to my library. And so what that means is that the book was previously in the Explore tab where everyone else can look at it. But now, because I've borrowed that book has actually been transferred from the Explore tab to the Library tab. So if I click into the Library tab now, that book will appear for me here. And so if I want to open that book, I can click Continue Reading, and the book will open up. Okay. I'm not going to spend any time talking about the book itself, because a presenter after me will discuss the ebook. But what I do want to do is just tell you how to return the ebook back to the Explore tab. So as we've discussed, we were in the Explore tab. We were looking across all of the titles available, and then we decided which book we wanted to borrow. We borrowed this book here, and when we clicked on borrow, the book was transferred from the Explore tab into our personal library. That book will be available for me as a student for the entire length of the borrow duration. So if the borrow duration was 1 day, then this book will be available to me for 1 day before it will automatically be returned to the Explore tab. If we choose, we can return this book manually. So if we don't want to keep the book for the full borrowed duration, we can click on return, and a pop-up message in the top right-hand corner will appear, just confirming that that book has now been returned. And so what's happened is the book has been shifted or transferred from my personal library to the Explore tab, which is where all of the users can access all of the content. Another thing that I wanted to show you was the search engine in the top right-hand corner. So sometimes as a student, you might be looking for a particular phrase or a keyword within an ebook, but you're not entirely sure what book you should be searching for. So what you can do is you can type in a phrase here, and it will show you all of the matching results for this phrase or this text within the entire collection. So we can see that there were quite a large number of books which have the word biology in it. If we want to find where that text sits within a particular ebook, we can just click on the search engine in the ebook itself, and it will show all of the matching results. So we can see where the word biology was mentioned in this particular book with the leopard. If I click on a line of text, it will ask me, do I want to borrow this book? So if I want to borrow the book, I can click borrow, and the same process will occur. We've now transferred that ebook from the Explore tab, and it now is available to me as a student in my personal library account. The key difference between what we did previously and what we're doing now is we're launching directly into the part of the ebook where the word biology is matching. And again, if we want to go back to the library homepage, we just click on this arrow, back to library. And you'll see that we were in Explore, we borrowed a book, and that book was transferred to our personal library, and that book is available here. Again, the book will be available to us for the length of the borrow duration. However, if we want to return the book before that time, we can manually return a book by clicking the return, and a pop-up message will appear in the top right-hand corner, confirming that the book is no longer available to us in the library tab, and we have to go to the Explore tab if we want to borrow the same book or if we want to borrow a different book. So just to highlight the last minute of my presentation, what we are doing with Explore is we're providing you with an online subscription-based solution, which allows you as a student to go and borrow ebooks from the convenience of your laptop and mobile device. To borrow the book, you need to be in the Explore tab to choose which book you'd like to borrow. When you decide on a book to borrow, you just click on the borrow button, and what will happen is the book will be transferred from the Explore tab to your personal library. You will have access to that ebook for the length of the borrow duration, unless you choose to return that book beforehand. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.